Hey everybody, Prep Nurse One here. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things that it drives me absolutely nuts. The way that people think. They think that they can do what they want and stuff like that. And I'm going to use a real good example. We're going to talk about a little bit more of how this has happened, okay? So in Rhode Island, an assistant attorney general, she's an assistant to the attorney general, and she's a lawyer. Her and her friend were out at this restaurant, and the restaurant was like, I guess they were drunk or whatever the case may be, and the restaurant was like, no, we don't want them in here. So the cops were called. And the cops, they got a job to do. Unfortunately, sometimes it's not dealing with the people that are thinking rationally. And so the cops had said, listen, you got to go. You're being trespassed, you got to go. And so she starts in, well, first of all, you need to turn off your body cam. I'm a lawyer. You have to turn your body cam off. And actually what it is, whoever the perpetrator is can't say that they can ask them to turn a body cam off. A victim may say, would you please turn the body cam off? I don't want to be on body cam. That can happen. And this is in Rhode Island, okay? So the person that is the suspect cannot request, number one, to have the body cam turned off. But so anyway, they were telling her, look at, here comes Bonnie. Hello, girlie. What are you doing? You're so funny. You're a good girl. So anyway, so the woman was like, no, we're not leaving, and I'm sorry. If you're being trespassed from an establishment, they don't want you there, you leave. Simple, But then it always comes out, do you know who I am? Now, I don't believe she said that, but a lot of them do that. Do you know who I am? Yeah, somebody who's not listening to what they're being told, right? That's who you are. So she acted like a jerk, so she got arrested, And then she's like, you're going to regret this. I'm an attorney general. And whoever was there also was like, she's an attorney general. She's an attorney. Who cares? I don't care what what your position is. If you have been told, leave, go ahead, get out of here, you leave. Period. End of story. You don't get to dictate and say, oh no, I'm not leaving and I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that. You don't get to do that. You either leave or you get arrested. So the attorney general made a statement after that and said, what an embarrassment that was and how she had embarrassed herself and the office, and appropriate action will be taken. Okay, I'm going to guess there'll either be like some super big time, administrative thing, or she'll lose her job. But you can't go out and show you're behind in public, especially if you are in public office. These people with that, it's what it is, guys, and this is what drives me crazy, that entitlement mindset. They think they can act any way they want to act, they can do anything that they want to do, and there's no consequences for their actions. You'll see these kids getting pulled over. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to go back to when I was a kid. When I was a kid and you got pulled over by the police, it was yes sir, no sir. You want to have as little interaction with that police officer as you can. Sometimes you got out of the ticket, sometimes you didn't, okay? But you take your ticket, you suck it up. If you decide you want to fight it or you think that it wasn't fair, you go to court, okay? But arguing with a cop on the spot there, all you're doing is setting yourself up for a world of hurt and a world of problems. Unnecessary problems. And that's what drives me nuts with people, that's what they're so entitled. And no, you have to listen to me. That cop don't have to listen to you. Be smart. Like I said, back in the day, and I know it's different now with the body cams and everything else, but you could catch a beating. I didn't want to get my butt kicked by no cop and then get charged with something that I didn't do. And there's nothing you could have done about it back then. And it happened, folks. It happened. I did not want to fight the police. I don't want to fight the police now. I want to go about my business, live my life, do what I got to do, and not bother anybody. That's what I want to do. How we doing, girly? So, but these people today, a lot of people, and that's not everybody, so please don't say, oh, Prepper Nurse 1 is saying everybody today. I'm not saying everybody today. And a lot of it comes down to, folks, how you were raised. I raised Heather. You get pulled over, you be respectful, you use your manners, you try to get out of the ticket if you can, you know, and that's it. That's it. And there's Mr. Clyde. He is so full of it, this one here. He is. He's a good boy, though. Look how much bigger he is than her already. You gonna be a big boy, Clyde, huh? Yeah? Gonna be a big boy? Yeah. So, but again, you know, you raise your kids the right way, they got a lot better chance of surviving long term. If you raise your kids to be spoiled, entitled brats, the first time something doesn't go their way, especially with the police or something, and they have a temper tantrum, cops are going to show them real quick how that goes. I mean, you go just watch the YouTube videos, folks. You see it all the time. You know, that you see it all the time. And where do you end up? You end up in the back of that cop car wearing a pair of handcuffs. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever had handcuffs on. I have, okay? More than once, all right? They are not comfortable. They are not nice to have on. Even if the cop puts them on as loose as he possibly can, right? They're not nice to wear. They're not fun to wear. So, if you have, if you've pissed a police officer off, how do you think he's going to put those cuffs on you, folks? He's going to put them puppies on tight. And then you're going to sit in the back of that car and you're going to cry and you're going to whine and this hurts, my wrist hurts, please, please, please. And they don't care after that. They don't care. Because you acted like a jerk, you're getting taught a lesson. And I'll tell you what, you know, you got to be smart. You just got to be smart. But again, people won't. They'll continue to be stupid and think that they can do whatever they want to do. Like I said, I just want to go about my business, take care of what I got to take care of, and go home. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. So, anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. I hope your weekend is going well. And, you know, please be safe out there. Just so you guys know, I have Tuesday and Wednesday off next week. So I'm thinking Wednesday is going to be the day I'm going to do a live stream at 6 o'clock for my hardcore members and then 8 o'clock for everybody else. Alright? So I will look forward to seeing you all then. I hope you have a great day. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.